We even live some learning that only the loss of someone very essential in our lives teaches us. One is what the poet Miyakoto, the Mozambican writer, speaks so interestingly. The beloved dead, he never stops dying. Every day you have to live with that death. See? I need to understand that for me to reach the context of this liberation, to be able to organize this grief, I will have to kill my ghosts daily. I will have to manage the news again. He died. They do not exist anymore. And seek the resources that life can offer me so that I can reach this overcoming. God matures us so that we are able to understand this chorus. That the verse has reverse. That the law has a reverse. That the free price. That life has contrary. But even in these contrary, we can be very, very, very harmonious. And that the greatness of a soul depends precisely on the ability that soul has to reconcile the opposites within itself. So inner freedom helps me do this. Helps me say goodbye, helps me lose. How many things have I lost in my life? How many people have I lost in my life? There are people who are jealous of the car and get very angry, loses all their balance when he knows someone used his car. Or when he had a scratch there. He loses his peace. He does not sleep. We cling to situations. We cling to people. We cling to status. We cling to the image we have wanted to eyes. There are people who do not accept the aging process because they have an attachment to the image they had in their youth. Lack of inner freedom makes us increasingly attached. What is jealousy? It is a disorderly attachment to a person, to a situation, to an object. This happy forever, it exists since you understand this happy forever as a daily struggle so that the contentment of being with each other is born of the fight, the commitment to make this relationship work. We do not have the right to take fairy tales and bring them to our lives as if we had the obligation to play the same roles as those who are written in literature. No, the word of St. Paul in Galatians speaks to us brilliantly in a speechless way. It is to be truly free that Christ set us free. Therefore, remain firm and not let you submit again to the judgment of slavery. Look how the process doesn't end the moment we were free. I, when released, step towards my inner freedom. I need to ensure that situations will not oppress myself again, because all the structures that enslave us continue up. I remember when my sister died, my God in heaven, I thought I would never be able to rejoice with something. Such was the depth of that pain. I saw my mother bury my sister. I wondered. I think my mother will never be able to smile, to rejoice in some situation. But she, involved in the grace of God, was slowly re-establishing herself. And you who know Donna Anna knows how this woman doesn't save on joys. Right? Without objectives, a human being does not go far, but the goal is always a factor that is attached to an ideal. Then I want this to me. But what I recognize today does not give me the conditions to live this goal. So then you will put yourself, if you equalize the time of commitment, but that their goals, they do not disregard their current process. I can't have a goal that disregards what I am at. I need to tie my goals to my reality. And in reality, I can always interfere. But I think it's time. Time is wonderful. And he is the Father of truth in everything. Shows everything. Nothing is disguised. It's hard. Time shows our excesses. He denied our lies. He is damned. You who accompany us at home may be identifying a little about this conversation because you too, in the instances of your life, also often feel prisoner of your petty feelings. What is most primitive in you? This opportunity we have here to remember that Christianity is the daily invitation of us to access these primitive dimensions. And that is why, my people, that I like to stress whenever the context of religion has to be the context of human maturity. We cannot bend our knees on the ground to pray to God by forgetting our causes. We do not have the right to live a mystique that alienates us, prevents us, or deprives us of thinking about human issues. The strength of the gospel, the liberation it provokes in us, is precisely so that we are able to overcome our ills, to meet those who need us, to establish communion with them, even if they remain different from us. Each assumes the rule they chose to live. And I realize, Isa, that sometimes we are still so far from the Christian proposal of this fraternity, precisely because we are not free. You said everything. Sometimes we experience such petty feelings in the face of the success of the other, in the face of the beauty that the other provokes, in the face of the art that the other. What a strange thing that, isn't it? It's immaturity, in fact. Actually, I think this lack. It's no use. For us to rejoice with each other, we need to be free and happy with what we are living. Otherwise, you are envying the neighbor's garden, right? Inevitable. Inevitable. And rejoicing at each other. It's good. Just because it's light, it only happens if it's true. We face it, right? Yeah, see in the face. But if from time to time someone does not remove us from this common sense and presents us with a new way of interpreting reality, we risk being chained in common sense pettiness. Think differently. Think loudly. Wasn't it the proposal of Jesus? Didn't he change the head of whom he found? For the best. He made those people come out of an ancient context of interpretation of themselves, the other, the friend of politics, of religion, and made that person go down here. The heart only changes after the head thought differently. And it's so important, my people. You feel that you are not stagnant too. We live in a time of so many slaves, the slavery of prejudice. My God in heaven, sometimes we watch a political debate and people attack each other. My Father of mercy. And you keep thinking, you see the disrespect of one human being for another. You see all the time. You watch a news and you realize cruelty being increasingly present between us. Why? Because a mentality that frees us is missing. There is a missing mindset that gives us a position to look at each other with a little more love. To look at each other who lives the different sexuality of us, who made different options from us. And we can have a respect for that person. Not to treat him with discredit, as if height was a human being of second greatness. Today is that moment when Jesus says that if you want to come, you will have to give up your context to find out his context. You bring you, and from the moment you introduce yourself to him, you will do a great work in your life. Sometimes we rescue tribal instinct so we can justify us from the fears we feel, the insecurities we carry. It is a shame to admit I'm jealous, I'm insecure sometimes, I'm afraid sometimes. We are ashamed to tell us even who we are. Really. I believe and experience that God's mercy is a wonderful space to live. It's big, you know. It is a place where you enter and you can breathe in peace and say, Jesus, look that I am being here. Let's talk to us both. I want to be like this, right? Being free is a project that never ends, right? We are never fully freed. Christian anthropology. Why? It is a gift. It is a gift that asks me for a task. I don't get kiss from hand, as it is commonly said when things are very easy. God gave us freedom as a gift. I bring inside me. You bring you. We all receive. Now being free is something else. It is like having a plant that needs to grow through the care that people have with her. Life is sacred. After the incarnation, theology teaches us nothing more is unholy. Everything is touched by the mystery of God. And we need to expand our mindset, my people, so that we can think so. to think of life as sacred. The river is sacred, so don't play in the trash in the river. Why? I identify in the water the sacredness of God. I won't pollute my woods. I won't pollute the air. Why? All this for me is sacred. You see that there is a holistic view, a vision of the whole of this year, and for a while, the drivers on duty thought this was a New Age thing. For God's sake, no. This is improved, evolved spirituality. It is evolved Christianity. I see in Rio the presence of Christ. I see in the woods the presence of Christ. And preserve them. Why? Because I want Christ to survive. I want the Christ to prevail. Have you ever stopped to pay attention that we neglect this vision a lot? Do we stop talking about God from all things? For a long time, our religious discourse merely became a moral discourse. It can't. For God's sake, the human being to be happy, he needs much more that he can and cannot. He needs reflection. This is not pantheism, no, right? God of the tree, God of water, no. Is the same God. It is our one and triune God. It is missing for us, often, this view of the sacred. Imagine, my people, see the time we are living. The sight of the sacred in the other is missing. Many times we do not recognize God in the person of the other. We trivialize, we hit, we are violent, we kill. This is all proof that we lose the reference to God's immanence, this God who is present in what is human. Then violence, disrespect, when someone, for example, disrespects his humanity, he is neglecting the sacred in you. When you disrespect the other human, you are neglecting the sacred that is in it. It's a sin, right? When I watch against the sacred realities, there is a Jew that we have studied a lot in philosophy. He says very beautifully the sense of otherness. The other is so different that I can't access it. The other is totally the other. This seems silly, it is philosophical language. I have no way to empty the meaning of the other, so it is sacred. Sacred is what cannot be emptied. It is what always has something to teach us. Why is the Bible sacred? She was written by human hands. The inspiration is divine, but it is human hands who wrote the Holy Scripture. Only here comes the concept of sacred. Why does she remain sacred? Why is she sacred? Because it didn't fit in time. She keeps telling us to this day. God continues to pass through those letters. God continues to happen through those words. And this is beautiful. It is the sacred being extended in time. Just as we extend a white towel on a table to receive the people we love, to prepare a dinner for someone we love. It is sacred what we will live. So we put the best dishes, we put the best talk, we make a tasty food. It can be simple. No matter the banquet. It will be pleasant, not with the quality of the food that will be served. No, but it is the quality of love we feel for each other. This is sacred. So if you think the spirituality that helps us truly live all the unfolding of the commitments that are born of religious experience, it puts us. This spirituality puts us in a perception that everything in this life is holy, and that I only need to recognize this holiness and live with all respect in the face of all of that is created. Who knows, if we achieve this, we will solve much of the problems we have in the world, which are born precisely in the disrespect of this condition of saint that is out there. And that we trivializes very easily. Spirituality is, let's say spirituality, it will be in accordance with your way of being, and that's why we have several spiritualities within the church. We have one faith. This is beautiful, isn't it? We believe in the same truths. So, here is the gift. Faith is a gift. Spirituality is an extra unfolding of this gift. It's a way I find out from my particularities. From the story I had, my temperament,